What is up? This is Master Shar bringing you another episode, and this time we are doing a weekend review of just all the events that happened last week, see where we ended up in all competitive game modes, and also look ahead to next week in terms of what's next and how the meta or the state of the game is changing. So, we were able to get top 50 in Ether raids this week, and it's pretty hard these days. Like I think the cutoff certainly went up to 14,000, at least 14, 10, 14, 20 during light season. And as you can see here, you need to finish top 13,800 or close to 13,900 to even qualify these days. And there's one season where I was 13,855 and I barely squeezed in. And this week, just finishing at the middle in the 1420 group, um, below all the 1440s, the people with the perfect scores. But, certainly a very solid finish. Very dumb defense loss that cost me the extra 20 points, which I got the rematch and won earlier on stream today. And, yeah, and the other one, which is pretty much a win because I managed to beat one of their units in my defense. So yeah, looking really good. We just pulled for 8 female Krises on the new Arcanaean Heroes banner. Might as well cover those units now since they've come out. But basically, my thoughts are it's a very average banner. I think female Kris is arguably the best unit out of those four, which is the unit I'm going for because female Kris is just so good in a not very crowded speed tanky lance infantry class. And yeah, she's probably the only unit worth plus 10ing. I mean, Julian and male Kris are just dagger units these days. There's lots of different ones. He's a faster version of Summer Xander essentially with the more regular pool available Dusk Uchiwa, but other than that, he's not too spectacular to say the least. And male Kris is just in a hard category in general. I mean, I would like to build up male Kris eventually, but as it stands, uh, I just don't think male Kris can beat either of the Byleths, Marita, Shannon, Larcy, and Fallen Ike, who I consider to be kind of like the big five, so to speak. And yeah, Red Sword Infantry is just the most contested pool, and you really have to stand out in some way. And having HP Speed 2 does not make you stand out, sadly. So, I'm just sending home some units for the time being. Uh, and I'm gonna keep all the Lenas since I do plan to build her up eventually, just not now. I don't think we'll have 200k feathers, but we'll have enough to go for a 20k feather Gale Force skill inheritance, as well as some other means to uh, improve some of these units. Yeah, speaking of Gale Force, I'm trying to get it on my Panay so she could run the Gale Force lunge build, but I think Ruse works just as well, if not better, and I have to build up the Panay to get all of those skills, which I will do. But yeah, so we finished top 50 Ether raids. We finished top 100 Allegiance battles. We could have finished top 50 if I remember to play those 3 weeks, but I'll catch up. I'll catch up to everybody else once everybody caps synergy and there's no further increases for the synergy piece of the score. And with AP becoming every other week, it's becoming a less competitive game mode. I think IS is really trying to push the Resident Battle game mode. It's really fun. It's really different. It uses the arena system, and you just need merges on the harmonized heroes to do really well. Yeah, it's interval 16. It's gonna be interval 18 pretty soon, and it finally will contain uh hopefully more harmonized heroes to be able to play in that mode. I'm just waiting for the next harmonized hero to come out so I can plus 10 that one, and just keep my spare plus 2 Mia as a bench unit for these Tellius and Radiant Dawn seasons. Yep, I'm gonna check my arena and arena assault, but I'm pretty sure I finished top 10 in those modes as well. Finished top 50 in resonant battles, which was alright. So arena with 3870, uh, still second place. So yeah, we're getting that 61st crown, 60th crown finally. It's a big milestone. Very few players have 60 crowns, and a lot of people have 100 crowns that have played arena for the longest time, and we're number 9 for arena assault. So really good all in all. I think this is the second back-to-back week we're finishing top 50 or 100 in every single competitive game mode. So I couldn't be happier. It's what you play for. That's how you get all the rewards, and a lot of hard work paid off until this point in time, certainly. Might keep tail 2 next time I roll a bunch of tail 2s. But yeah, so many feathers to cash out, which I will do right now. But yeah, going back to the new unit banner, it's a very average banner. I mean, if you were to compare it to the Awakening banner, it's very similar to the Awakening banner, except the Awakening banner had a mythic unit, which made it kind of interesting to go for and to spark. But it looks like ever since the spark system came out, I mean, looking back at the Fates, Rinka, Midori, uh, Lilith, and Forest banner, and this one, it looks like once they come out, I mean, yeah, these banners have been getting a little worse and worse. The best banner was the Fallen Heroes banner, obviously. But I don't know. It's like IS is saying, well, we know these banners are gonna stink, so we're gonna throw in a free 5-star hero just to help you along if you need to, sort of thing. Which I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I also think that they could have done the spark with the units that would have really shined from it. Um, Yeah, and they said in August too that we're gonna get another banner that isn't gonna have a demote. So I'm very excited about August. August we have CYL coming up, first half on August 7th, and then we have the new units banner coming out on the 20th of the month, second half of the month, which won't have a demote. So that means it's gonna be a really good banner. Wonder what kind of banner they're throwing out. Have no idea yet, but I hope it's Brave Redux, where we get just really solid units, both on the main banner as well as the GHB. But knowing it's IS, anything can happen. And for the Tempest Trial unit for this year's CYL, it's probably going to be a Three Houses one, just to keep in sync with the Three Houses theme. That's most likely, but I could be wrong. Oh wow, just a few more, and I could do another feather project. Very nice. Yeah, so I'll pull the last few Chris's, and hopefully that'll be it. Uh, yeah, Chris has been kind of hard to pull female. I couldn't get like my first few until like 500 orbs into the quest. And then once I started getting Chris's, yeah, yeah, I couldn't get plus speed until like much later. So let's continue. Get Mordecai. Yeah, if we don't have blues, we are going red then colorless just because I would like to get a few merges on male Kris, and the sooner I can complete him from the bloody red tool, the faster I can move on to other red units as well. Also, red is like the new colorless healthy state. There's just so many units, there's just so many possibilities. It's so hard to get the units that you want. And red is just not very nice to a lot of people and a lot of accounts, sadly. Got Sully as well. Yeah, so I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do with my YouTube channel, and Fire Emblem Heroes is certainly kind of the main draw of it, since I have all my videos about Fire Emblem Heroes, and I played the game for a really long time, ever since the starting day that it was out. It's a really good game. I'm just wondering if I want to feature any other channels or show different camera views once I get my camera up and ready, and so I can stream both myself and as well as the gaming screen on some occasions, and see if I want to branch into other areas and other topics as well. There's a lot of potential, a lot of ways that one can go about with your YouTube channel, and mine has been mostly gaming so far. But I have other interests too, like technology, like finance, especially in the investing arena, and also just questions about, career and other things about life in general. So yeah. I mean, right now, probably most people only view me as a gamer of some sort, but I do a lot of other things, and gaming is just one of my many hobbies and pastimes. And speaking of which, we got Kris. Yay! So this is Kris number 9, still plus speed. Awesome. And we just have two more. Nice. Yeah, so when I was just talking about some other topics, I happened to get another Kris, which is probably what I should do more on these videos, is talk about different topics, uh, different interests, just talk about stuff that's not related to summoning, and looks like I'll get lucky that way, just like PM1 does. Yeah, so the funny thing is, to move up in the Fae food chain, so to speak, of being a Fae tuber or being a Fae related YouTuber or any Fire Emblem YouTuber, you really have to know the Fire Emblem YouTubing community. And with recent events, it's not surprising to see that they've fallen through some hard times. I mean, especially with who being found out about certain things. I think the community as a whole has really taken a step back. There's a lot of videos about this, and I won't get into too much details, but basically, I feel like with who being gone, this just leaves a void for other newcomers and lesser known people to step up and hopefully offer something even better and do better than the previous content creators. And I think that's just an opportunity that's waiting to explode or expand, for lack of a better term. Yeah, maybe in the future I'll just split my channels based on my Google Gmail accounts. This one being focused on Fire Emblem, mostly Heroes and other Fire Emblem series games, and the other one is just focused on my self lore. Because I've seen people do that, like Strictly Dumpling with Mike Chen, uh, and some of the entertainers probably man multiple accounts too. I think it would be nice to get a YouTube gaming contract of some sort, just as a part-time side gig in the future if I ever become big enough. But that's kind of wishful thinking, and like to be one of the few, you either have to know a lot of people or you have to be really successful or a combination of both. I mean, I don't think PM1 or Acurus or Fargas would be even considered because they don't draw as much gaming dollars and ad revenue as some of the other more well-known gaming showcasers and streamers. It's really hard. It's a tough arena to break into. For a period of time, I used to do Hearthstone streaming, and that was fun. And I got pretty far in the Tavern Heroes track. I almost made it to like one of the mainline tournaments one time, except I was just dumb and made a lot of misplays at the final round. But at least, I had a clear purpose in mind and I was kind of in my element and zone. And then, just got tired of the game because it became uh, it became too seasonal based and it became just another TCG collection card game sort of thing. And that's kind of what I love about Faye is that, sure, on my main account I do pay to win and I do pay to, play in some situations, but at least, like as opposed to Hearthstone where you can keep up with the Joneses or, whatever folks and try to finish top places. There's just too much luck involved. And I think Faye took a lot of RNG and a lot of, stupid hitting percentages and whatnot out of the game for a good reason because it just messes up the game experience and the gameplay. And I think like they did a really fantastic job of having people focus on the characters and units as well as also coming up with their own unique ways to play the game. Yeah, just as a precaution, uh, for those uh, for those who actually, for lack of a better term, whale at the game, I don't really suggest that unless you are very have a very clear grasp of your finances and have a lot of discretionary income from investments and other sources to be thrown into stuff like this. And if you're just like the top 0.1% or you're just super successful and face kind of your passion or your thing just like it is for me, then by all means go for it. you know it's just that you got to go in with a mindset similar to Vegas where you're going to a casino and you know they want your hard-earned money and you have to make sure they don't get too much of it and you know when to quit and you know how to manage your emotions and tilt. And after all that, I mean, you're seeing your favorite heroes and you're also seeing results and you also see kind of a valid return on investment, then, you know, that's that. But I mean, as of this point in time, I think Phase reached about 600 to 700 million dollars in revenue. Still by far the most highest grossing game for Nintendo outside of Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is kind of like a revenue sharing agreement, but we'll talk about that in another video. But Faye's been like a financial and franchise home run for the Fire Emblem franchise as a whole, which is awesome because that means they're going to make future Fire Emblem games. They're going to have new heroes, uh, new storylines. Uh, they're going to keep the weapon triangle for years to come. And for a longtime Fire Emblem fan who's played the game since Sacred Stones back in 2005, it is amazing time to be a Fire Emblem fan right now. I mean, with the 30th anniversary, with another Kris here, and with a lot of these games, that get showcased within a game like Heroes, that's brought both new and old people alike to Fire Emblem franchise as a whole. I think that's just an amazing thing. Um, in addition to Fire Emblem Heroes, I also stream quite a bit of Radiant Dawn. I've been doing some genealogy. I will do Thracia pretty soon. I also give a new mystery a try as well, since it looks pretty good, and I've seen a lot of Let's Plays. There's still a lot within Fire Emblem I still haven't gotten to yet. And it's been one of the games I played for a long time, similar to the Final Fantasy franchise. Uh, and I was really excited when Chrono Trigger came out for the iPhone. which has been a long time coming. I mean, best RPG of all time, finally on the iPhone or iOS after all these years. Come on. Yeah, I might stream Chrono Trigger as well too, just for the heck of it. And yeah, it's just a great series, and couldn't be any happier. But yeah, Fire Emblem for the longest time, like it boils down to you know you being a scrappy set of units, trying to find your way, trying to contribute to the greater cause. And yuck! Oh, not another Ophelia. Come on, just give me my last Kris and I'll be done with this banner, please. Carla, wow. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna give Wrath to my male Kris after all. Got Sylvia. But yeah, as I was saying, I mean the Fire Emblem franchise has seen a lot of ups and downs. It's been like a scrappy franchise for a long time. I mean, low budget, low production cost. Uh, it took them like forever to get on the console after being featured in Super Nintendo. They were only like hundreds of thousands of copies in sales to begin with, and even with some of the remakes like Echoes and whatnot. But boy, oh my gosh, with Awakening and Fates just propelling Fire Emblem to kind of the mainstream consciousness as it did, it's done exceptionally well. And me as a Fire Emblem fan, I couldn't be any happier. I mean, to be quite honest, Fates and Awakening were not the two most emblematic, representative games in the entire franchise. I mean, Three Houses was more representative than either of those games. And to see those two games outselling, oh geez, not a 5-star Atlanta. Okay, let's see who else I get. Might as well finish the circle. Yeah, it looks like this is a bad circle in general. I'm really upset about the 5-star lineup, but at least the 5-star lineup saves me 20,000 feathers. And she's plus attack, thank goodness. Okay, so I'll turn the others into manuals and continue for my last copy of Kris. Yeah, for a long time, the Fire Emblem franchise was kind of one of those kind of those indie franchises where some people knew it. It had a hardcore following, but now that it's mainstream and now it's sharing the spotlight with the Mario series, uh, Pokemon, and some of the other Nintendo blockbusters. I mean, to be quite fair, I feel the Fire Emblem rivals the Final Fantasy series for like gameplay, story, quality of characters, quality of writing for the most part, and just all in all, a fantastic gaming experience. Three Houses really took it to another level. I mean, Three Houses was like the triple play right there in making Fire Emblem even better, uh, proving that Fire Emblem can and will do well when brought onto the console, and gave us another roster of characters that we love, hate, uh, talk about, uh, rally around, and hope they make it into Fire Emblem Heroes one day. All in all, it's been just a phenomenal experience with Three Houses. Speaking of Three Houses, I really need to finish my Action Wolves and Edelgard route and church gameplay, and that's going to take me a couple hundred more hours. But hey, it's what you get the game for, is to get a lot of enjoyment and fun out of it. Uh, yeah, Looks like the last Kris is eluding us, or maybe not. I don't know if I'm gonna go male or female Kris during my playthrough of New Mystery of the Emblem, but I'm enjoying the storyline so far. A lot of plot twists, a lot of intrigue, a lot of politics, a lot of heroes, a lot of scoundrels. Yeah, it has everything of a Fire Emblem game. And don't, why did I have to get female Morgan? Oh, why couldn't you be another Kris so I could be done? Just done with this banner. Nope. Yeah, so this banner has been kind of in the middle. It wasn't as lucky as my Awakening banner, but it was better than my Three Houses banner earlier on. Uh, Most of these banners are kind of middle of the road. They're not too good, they're not too bad, they're about average, I guess. But some really stand out, and kind of that's one of the reasons why you play the game is to get those good rolls. Even, you know, withstanding all those terrible rolls, for lack of a better term. It's kind of the nature of the gacha system. And yes, speaking of which, we got Kris again. All right, let's finish this. Yeah, let's finish the circle to see who else we can hit. Yeah, still on the fence about male Kris. If I do decide to go for him, he's probably gonna be done off stream in general, or off of Pity Breakers, just because there's already been a long stream where he's being featured and whatnot. But all in all, we are done with Kris, and that ends this banner. So leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy Fire Emblem Heroes. Want to see more top tier gameplay, and for next week, let's try to go for top 50 again. We will be using air as the bonus unit, but along with air, I'm thinking of using Byleth and Sylvain uh, as the so-called carry or mainline units. And then for the following season, where the dancer and a flying unit comes into play, that'll be Ingrid and Dorothea season. So yeah, looking pretty good for the next 2 weeks of AR. I think I know which teams I'm gonna use. And yeah, I've been doing alright in Forging Bonds. I should finish it pretty soon. I won't burn that many more stamina pots, trying to keep it above 600 in case another game mode comes out, or if I need to farm more stuff. But yeah, wow. And Aramia GHP is coming out tomorrow. So yeah, I think next week, Monday, or or later this Sunday, we'll be getting the trailer for the Mythic Heroes. Stay tuned to see my reaction about that, as well as my analysis on how it changes the meta, because it will change the meta if it's the third Astra season hero, especially if it's another viable alternative to Naga and Altina. And I think that's it for my video. Thanks so much, and talk to you all later. Bye.